Welcome to another segment of Wilton Manors, the gayest place on the planet. I'm your host, Art Smith, and today we'll be speaking with Mike Sansevero about the art in Wilton Manors. Enjoy.
We've explored a lot of Wilton Manors, especially along Wilton Drive, and one of the things that we really love about this city is all of the art installations. There are sculptures in town, there are murals in town, there are all kinds of public artwork everywhere you look. And standing next to me is Mike Sansevero, who's going to tell us a little bit about his involvement with the Wilton Manors art scene. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, and glad to have you here and to feature some of the public art that we have here in Wilton Manors. Being transplanted here from New York, one of the things I expected to see in a city like Wilton Manors, which has a large creative community, was a lot of art, including public art, and I didn't really find a lot of it. So about 4 years ago, I came up and founded the idea of Sculpture Walk Wilton Manors. And it was all based on seeing a PBS program with a Key West artist who talked about how he put together art programs and featured his art around the country on a loan lease basis. And I contacted him and put together this program. And so at this point, we have 12 pieces up and down the drive and a couple of pieces off the drive, including this piece behind me. And this particular piece was donated to us by a transplanted New Yorker who lives in South Florida now, Arlene Peartree. So she donated this piece, which we have here on the property of Johnson's bar. And we have another piece that she donated in front of another bar called Lit. So all of this is privately acquired through private donations, including donations of the art, and we're very proud of having this here. We're hoping to expand this, and we're hoping to spur the city of Wilton Manors to get a little bit more involved with public art. I've been proposing and pushing for a public art policy. They're finally getting to the point where they're going to start drafting it, and the city finally got another piece acquired from a Las Olas art gallery called Thunder Bunny. And so there's a lot of progress between public art installations like this, sculptural. You'll see a lot of buildings now with murals that have been painted in the last 2 to 3 years. We have art up in the air on the street lamps. So it's very exciting, and we're moving forward, and I'm happy to be one of the motivators and leaders in that cause.
So I wanted to clarify one thing that you said, because I don't know if everybody was paying attention or really heard what you said. But right now, as of this point, most of the public artwork in Wilton Manors is privately funded. It is not funded by taxpayer dollars. It is funded by residents and artists and people who love the city.
And that's true. And sadly enough, the city, one of the things I've been pushing for is more of a city buy-in to the art programs. So by default, what happens is groups like Sculpture Walk Wilton Manors, Wilton Art, Island City Art Advisory, 501c3s have been raising money and putting art up. The city naturally takes credit for it, but the city's about on the verge of coming up with a public art policy, thanks to Commissioner Chris Caputo. And because it's a small city of only roughly 12,000 residents with a very small budget and a very small staff, they feel that they're kind of limited in options. There's been very little new development, real estate development in Wilton Manors. A lot of the cities depend on developers contributing money into an art fund. Coral Springs, a lot of the other bigger cities, Fort Lauderdale, do that. We're just starting now to get some new development. We've got at least 4 or 5 development projects in the works. There's a proposal for a hotel on Dixie Highway, and Chris Caputo is pushing to have some sort of contribution from new development to go into art fund, so that with the new art policy could lead Wilton Manors into the future as far as having more public art, which is much needed, but people love it. And you're right. So far, it's all private. I mean, sometimes we get criticism about, I don't like that piece. Why did you waste money on that? The point is, The taxpayer didn't waste any money. The city didn't waste any money if you view it as waste. This is all privately donated, and art is art. For every piece of art, you're going to get 50 people who love it, 25 people who are like, and 25 people who hate it, but that's just the way it is. The most important thing is to get the art out there. Whatever reaction it evokes is a reaction, and it's good, positive or negative. It means someone saw it, reacted to it, we got the feedback.
Now, if anybody out there wants to complain about the artwork, and we're going to be showing some of it in this video so people can see the different installations around town, but if you want to complain about it, if you don't like what you see, we have a solution for you. You can dig into your pocket and you can send some coin to Mike and his organization or to other organizations in town, and you can sponsor a brand new piece of artwork of your personal liking to be put in Wilton Manors. But for a city that is so small, half the size of Key West, 2 square miles, little bitty place, there is a ton of public artwork. People don't realize that. This is a huge amount of artwork for such a tiny little place.
It is, and like I said, a lot of this has been developing over the last, say, 4 years, just pre-COVID, and I mean, we installed our first pieces actually in March of 2020, just before things shut down, and we continued to install during COVID and continued to fundraise, a lot of fundraising off of Facebook fundraisers, also from businesses and private individuals. So we're very proud of this, and we hope to continue. And you're correct, you can make a contribution, or if you prefer a different type of art, you can come forward and pay for and place your own art. So and there are organizations that will help you do that. And again, you can sponsor. Each of these pieces has a plaque in front of it recognizing the artist, the name of the piece, and the principal donor. So if you would like to and make a suggestion of a piece of art, we'd love to help you install a piece and feature it on the drive and feature a deserving artist so that they can gain recognition.
And how would they reach you? If they wanted to reach out and send money or send ideas, how would they reach your organization?
Yeah, so we're associated, Sculpture Walk Wilton Manors is associated with Art Walk Wilton Manors, which does the art walks on the drive every month. And we're all come within the umbrella of the Wilton Manors entertainment group, HotSpots Art. So HotSpots Art, if you go onto the Facebook page or Google HotSpots Art, you can get a contact there. Go through the contacts, say I'd like to donate to the sculpture or art program, and we'll get back to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Mike, so much for everything you do with the artwork in Wilton Manors, and for taking the time to kind of explain that to our audience so they can understand that besides all the bars and restaurants and retail shops, there's also a lot of color and design and creativity going on in Wilton Manors. Thank you so much.
And thank